All right, welcome everybody. It is David Thomas, Mr. J. Woolwine with me. As always, we are here to shoot your weekly dose of motivation, inspiration, and education. All right, so it's everything to help you become a better version of yourself. As I say every week, a lot of times we'll talk about trading mindset. A lot of times we'll talk about personal development. It all comes back to if you can become a better version of yourself, more in control, more aware of your emotions, more driven towards your goals, it's going to help you. Sorry, can you hear that when my computer goes off? It keeps dinging, but sorry about that. But it's actually TradingView alerts. But anyways, it's going to make you a better trader, better father, better better employee, better boss. It's just going to make you all around better. And so that's what our goal is to help you each week. All right. So today we're going to be talking about helping yourself by helping others. All right. And that's not a selfish, I don't mean it in a selfish way, like you're only helping to help yourself, but it's that give and take, right? It's that fulfillment that you're going to receive, and so there's a lot of in the self-help industry, there's a problem with that. The problem with the self-help industry is that it's always about me, right? How can I be happy? But you never have things like what are the 5 steps to help the person next to you lose weight, or what are the 5 steps that have been proven to help the person next to you find the job that they want, right? Do you know how we get fulfillment? You can be happy because you do things at work, of course. You can be proud because you do things at work. You can be excited because you had a big success at work, or, in your business or whatever it is. You can be excited because things are going in the right direction for you there. But you know how you really feel fulfilled? It's because it's when you do something for somebody else. It's that feeling that we get, right? That's the only way to get that feeling.
You guys know that statistics say that 90% of people don't feel fulfilled by the work that they're doing, right? It's not because of the job or even the pay for that job. And it's not because they don't get any benefits. It's basically because they don't help each other anymore, right? You're just in there doing your own little thing. And people sit in their cubicles and head down and they just do their work. And the only time that you ever really turn to somebody else is when you need something, right? And then you get something. Um, and yet we don't put ourselves out there simply for no other reason than just to help somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, you know what generosity is? Generosity is doing something for someone else and expecting nothing in return at any point ever, right? I did something for him. Why won't he help me? That's not an equation, right? It's helping someone without anything in return. It makes you feel good, right? God has given us this feeling when we do something good for somebody else. It encourages us to keep doing that, right? Because it feels good. Because when we're in groups, when we are surrounded by people that believe what we believe, this trust emerges, and our very survival and progress, it goes up, right? Because we're all working together. It creates these strong bonds, this sense of strong bonds and culture among each other when we're continually helping each other.
Yeah, they did this experiment with a homeless person. Well, not on the homeless person. It wasn't like electroshock. But I mean, you've all walked down the street, right? And you see a homeless person begging, right? And you either have or you haven't given them, the change in your pocket and put it in their cup. And when you do, you feel good about it, right? You bought that feeling. Right? It's basically a commercial transaction, right? You're exchanging consideration, right? They're giving you that feeling, you're giving them money. And you get that feeling of goodwill when you do that, right? You paid for that feeling.
Yeah. And if you didn't give the money, you either feel nothing or maybe you feel bad, right? But you can't feel good by not giving, right? Like Jay said, you paid for that feeling. So now the question is, how is that, how is that person, that homeless person holding up their sign, how are they encouraging you to give? The joke is actually that most homeless people act like every corporation in the world. They talk about themselves, right? It's me, 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 me. It says, I'm homeless, I'm hungry, I've got 12 kids, I'm a veteran, God bless, et cetera, right? They got it all on there. And they're trying to appeal to somebody, maybe the religious vote, maybe the veteran vote, the child sympathizer. Maybe they surround themselves with a lot of pets, so it's the animal sympathizer, right? They go for all of those. And it's all in an attempt to get something from someone. Oh, you're muted, Jay. You're muted, Jay. Jay, you're muted.
Sorry.
Very good.
It's taking, right? Not giving, right? It's all about me. And think about what big business, right? Corporations do. We've added more RAM. We're faster than ever. This one's number one. We're the biggest. We're the best. We've been around since 1969. We're better than them. We're faster than them. Whatever it is, right? It's me, 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 right? And so this homeless person, she basically makes 20 or 30 bucks a day for doing a day's worth of work. But that's her work, right? 8 to 10 hours of sitting there selling goodwill. And she'll make that $20 to $30, and that's considered a good day for what she did.
Yeah. So in this experiment that Jay mentioned earlier, what they did was they changed her sign, and the new sign made her. So he said she made $20 to $30 a day before. This new sign made her $40 in 2 hours. I mean, in 2 hours, when she's used to working 8 to 12 hours, right? If one of the reasons she's homeless is because, she's decided that she can live on $20 to $30 a day, right? But if she had stayed for the full 8 hours, she might have made, $150, $200, who knows, right? The point is that she made $40 in 2 hours. So what did the sign say? The sign said, if you only give once a month, please think of me next time. It had nothing to do with her. It has everything to do with you, everything to do with the giver, not the taker. And so, what are the objections that people give? I mean, why they don't give. I can't give to everybody. I just give to somebody. I come on the street every single day. I can't give to you every single day, right? How do I know they're legit? How do I know they're not going to go buy alcohol with it? How do I, all of these things, all of these reasons you give yourself.
Yeah. And the sign, her new sign, right, addressed both of those concerns, right? I know I can't give to everyone. So if you only give once a month, my cause is legitimate, right? I will still be here when you're ready to give. 40 bucks, 2 hours. So she made it about her, not about you, right?
No.
The fact of the matter is that 100% of customers are just people, right? And 100% of clients are people. 100% of employees are people, right? And I don't care how good your product is, or how fast it is, or how good your marketing is, or how good your design is. If you don't understand people, then you don't understand business.
Yeah. And she made it, like you said, she made it about her, but she made it about you, the giver, not the taker. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So there's another good example of this, and then we're going to try to wrap this up. I know we're getting a little long-winded here, but there's a show out there. Most of us have probably seen it. It's called The Deadliest Catch, right? It's on Discovery Channel. On one particular episode, there was this huge storm. And now, for those who don't know, you're not familiar with the show, The Deadliest Catch. It's these crab fishermen, right? And they're out in, I think it's the Bering Sea.
Bering Strait, yeah.
Yeah. And it's very dangerous, right? Terrible. They put cameras on the boats, and we watch, and that's really entertaining for us, right? And so, but these crab fishermen, it's I think it's like one of the top five deadliest jobs in the world. It's pretty insane. I don't know what the exact number is, but dozens of these fishermen, they die every year doing this. And once again, apparently we find that entertaining, I guess. But it's very entertaining to watch if you've ever watched. I've only seen a few episodes, but it is quite harrowing to watch it. But they have cameras on all the five or six of these ships that they're watching, and there are many ships out there. Not all of them have cameras and that kind of thing, but they're all out there fishing in the season, and they don't really usually come in close proximity to each other, because obviously the ocean is very big, and actually they're in competition with each other. Right. So usually they'll like sabotage each other, give each other false information, because, they're all competitors fighting to get the biggest catch.
Yeah. There was this one particular episode where it was this huge storm. It was super violent. And so they had to bring all their pots in. The pots are like it's a big wire box that they cage that they catch the crabs in. So they had to bring in all their pots because of the storm. And they brought all theirs in. The boat that had the cameras had brought in all of their pots and were going to wait out the storm. And just happened to be they were close to another ship that didn't have cameras on it, so they were filming that boat, right? So they'd have some footage. And they started filming that other boat, and they filmed this guy who like climbed on the outside of one of these pots, right on the outside of the cage to secure the pots. And all of a sudden, this wave came up, and when it went back down, the guy was gone, right? And all the people on the boat that were filming, right? They started screaming, man overboard, man overboard, man overboard.
Yeah, and so what they did was they turned their boat towards that ship and where they thought he might be, right? And remember, this guy's a stranger to them, right? He's actually a competitor. They don't know him. They don't know any of the crew members of the other boat, but they do react and they turn their boat towards him and they find him in the water. And for those that don't know, how dangerous that is. The water is so cold that if you're in there for I think it's like a minute and 30 seconds, you're going to get hypothermia and it'll set in and you'll die. Right. And so they come upon him and he's screaming and he's saying, "Don't let me die. Don't let me die." And they pull him on the board on the boat. But he's not out of the woods yet, obviously. So they strip off his clothes. He's wet. He's cold. Obviously, they wrap all these blankets around him and, to prevent hyperthermia from setting in.
And he survives, of course, and it's overwhelming. Captain comes down. You can watch it on TV. The captain comes down and he hugs the guy, and it's a young kid, but he's a competitor. He hugs this guy, and if it like it was his own kid, right? He's just so happy that the kid's alive, and everybody's crying, and you realize what happened here was, was a basic human interaction, right? You get over all the competitiveness. The reason that they risked their own lives was to help this other person, right? Even though they spend every day trying to get ahead of that person, and they even sabotage each other, and at the end of the day, they're all crab fishing, right? They all know something about each other, and they know the risks that are inherent in that, and they know what goes into doing what they're doing.
Yeah. And so when push comes to shove, they'll put themselves out there to help each other for no other reasons than they get it, right? They're one and the same. And I promise you that every single crew member, when he went home that night, he had a feeling of fulfillment, right? Every single person on that crew felt more good in their hearts in their jobs than the richest day they've ever had. Why? Because they had helped someone. They had saved someone's life. They got a real full feeling of fulfillment. And so the question really is today is what are you doing to help the person next to you? That's the question. Don't you want to wake up and go to work only for the reason to do something good for someone else? Wouldn't you want somebody else to do that for you? So have that as your goal, or one of your goals anyway, that today I'm going to help somebody and I want nothing in return from them other than I want to be fulfilled by helping someone that's near to me. And every single one of us can do that. And every single one of us can do it every day. And I think it would be an awesome thing to see. All right. So once again, we love and appreciate you. We hope you get value out of this today. We will see you back next week at the same time. So y'all take care. God bless.
On the deck of our ship.
On the deck of the ship. We'll see y'all. Take care.